can come into play, but really everything is integrated. You know,
You don't think, for instance,
multiple taxation, for example, is part of it, but for a small-scale business in Nigeria, it might be on the lower level of the ranking. You know, but electricity is a problem. Ease of property registration, which is also one of the criteria used by the World Banking Ranking Index, is also a problem. You know, but I think electricity is the greatest problem.
You know, we often look at these matters, and then in some cases we're not focusing enough on the small business enterprises. Those are very key as well, because we know how, if capital circulates at that level, how it could stabilize a lot of things. How would you say we're faring in that regard?
With regards to encouraging the small and medium enterprises, right?
The access to credit.
Oh, well, the access to credit of SMEs.
And at what interest rate?
Okay. At what interest rate?
You know, we like that focus.
Yeah. I mean, I also like that focus. The interest rate regime in Nigeria is something that is surprising, because we exist in a global environment where interest rate in Japan is negative, interest rate in the US is like 1 or 2%, interest rate in America, something. And we exist in this marketplace. And yet, interest rate in Nigeria ranges from
25 to 30%.
You know, okay, 25 to 30%, you know. And deposit interest is also very high. And to compound matters, you know, government is muscling out enterprises by issuing treasury bills at about 17 to 18%. You know, so
who's pushing this problem? Is it the government or is it the CBN, now that the interest rates are this high and then it's affecting the ease of doing business? Whose ox is gored here?
Who is pushing interest rates? All of us, you and I. All of us. I mean, when you deposit money in the bank, you're going to be asking them for high interest rates. When CBN, when the federal government through CBN wants to borrow from all of us through treasury bills, it gives us 18%. So everybody is looking for high interest rate. And when you ask, they say, oh, it's because of inflation. And when you talk about inflation, they say, oh, it's because of exchange rate. So all of them just seem like
what justifies the 18% that the CBN gives from treasury bills loans?
I actually don't know what justifies it. But I think CBN is also looking at what is a going rate in the marketplace. And sometimes also CBN wants to use the treasury bills to mop up liquidity that is in the system, so that the liquidity doesn't chase FX, so that FX rates don't go up. You know. So again, it's a vicious cycle.
Perhaps the interest rate at 13 or 17% for treasury bills that's been given out. Can we have a situation where the CBN is able to cut that down, just so it doesn't look as if it's the one fueling the inflation?
I'm afraid he'll respond when we come back from this moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Let's continue our conversation about the ease of doing business again, but you did put a question through to
Yes. Looking at the interest rates being set by the monetary policies that we have in this country, 13%, as much as 17% even for treasury bills. And that is to be transmitted transmitted into the final borrower, which is the people. How does this ease business in this country?
The current interest regime will not be able to ease business. However, the interest rate regime is susceptible to several factors. One is the inefficiencies in the business environment. Now, how